Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture, and today we are going over Tinashe's fifth album called 333. Tinashe has been somebody that I have pretty much followed her career back in 2014, where she did Two On and released Aquarius, and I was just following her all the way through. And I love the ride that we've been going through. I think that it sucks that she was part of RCA, but she got out of it, and now she has her own fucking stuff. So there's no direction of people trying to push her this way or not promoting her. She finally can promote herself, and she's doing a good job at it too. So proud of her. So, and I know I gave a kind of low score towards Songs for You that came out in 2019. I think I gave it a 6 or 7 out of 10. It definitely has grew on me over time. So in this video, I have to up it towards maybe like no, I stand by it because I think there's some parts where a lot of part one, part two, part one, part two, part one, part two kind of thing. So it just felt like it just felt much longer than it really was. So, but I still like it. I still collected a good handful of songs from it. But this album is so good. It's so good. Because not only does she play around with different type of like productions and different like producers, she touches on different I don't know, it just like it's how can I say this? Like sonically, it just sounds really, really nice. I just love it. I love that she's experimenting with different sounds, and she's not afraid to kind of just do that. And it still, even with that, it still flows with the album. This album, I want to say it's about pretty much love, again, just like Songs for You. Songs for You was more kind of a mixture between good relationship and bad relationship, and this one kind of seems like it's definitely more leaning into the aftermath of a relationship. So we're now done with the relationship, but we're now thinking about it now, and we're thinking about the idea of it, and also thinking about love in general and what's it mean. It seems like Songs for You, it felt like to me that Songs for You is in the relationship, but things are going kind of rocky, but she still really loves him, and then they're kind of breaking up. They kind of broke up, and they broke up in that album, and then this album is more kind of reflecting on it and also looking how she feels now and what's been going on since then. And I definitely feel like it definitely pronounces that in a good handful of ones. I love the features in this album because not only they're features, but they don't drown out the song. And I don't think she's ever done that before, but I definitely feel like this is a great example of how to feature people, whether they're popular or not popular, but still not have it drown out in Tinashe, or you still know it's a Tinashe song, but they mingle so well that it almost feels like a duet sometimes. And I love the fact that I don't know, I'm very I'm very shook and very impressed with this album. And it's not more, and I don't know. Let me just get down into the songs I really like, so it kind of break down exactly how I feel about this. So it starts off with "Let Go," which was written with the help of CeeLo, and this song has a really chill vibe. It just sounds so nice with the production. This one pretty much talks about the idea of pretty much letting go of a relationship and kind of just the idea of, as she says, "Rich from the attention that you paid me. Now I see I'll be all right when I let go." And yeah, just pretty much it sets the tone of where she is now since the breakup, or since the fallout of the relationship. So it seems like she's much better. She's much more, there's a lot of lessons she's learned since then, which is really good. You can definitely feel it. I See the Future kind of talks about seeing the future with his maybe a new guy that she's with, or a guy that she has a crush on or she's into. And this one's pretty much talks about that, just seeing the future with this guy. And this is the third single to this album, and I really like it. This one is much more chill, but I feel like Tinashe's songs are one of those things that if I'm not into it, or if I'm not feeling it from the get-go, that's not a good indication that I'm not going to like it, because I feel like she has her songs are very slow burn sometimes, and then some of them are just like you haven't seen anything yet. Ride with this. It's like I feel like she dares you to keep going with the song even if you don't really know where it's gonna go to. And I think that I love that ride of just it feels like she's saying like let go of the reins, let go of what you expect from this song, and just ride with it. Just feel it out yourself first, and then you'll get into it. And I feel like I gave it that to this album. And it definitely got rewarded so many times. Shy Guy is another one I really like. I love the drum bass kind of production. And this one pretty much just talks about a guy who just doesn't really feel like he's just not really very available for her. And he's also shy, so it makes me think that maybe he wants to be available, but there's something that's holding him back about insecurity or whatever, so he keeps himself busy, so he doesn't seem so available towards her, but she kind of sees right through it. This one is very, very short, and unfortunately I'm so mad it is because it's so good, and it feels like I was just waiting for the beat to drop in. I feel like it was like a but then usually there's a bass that comes in. It just didn't really come in yet, and it didn't come in at all actually, and I was just like, oh, give me more. So please give me extended one of that one, or if not, maybe that's the whole vibe of it. But I really, really love that. I love the tone of that song. Bouncin was the second single to this album. This one kind of gives me a very like PC music direction, and it's one of those things. It's just like you gotta listen to the full thing. There is some repetition inside of it, but I feel like it's worth it because it's more of a vibe than it is like, okay, do you like the fact that she says bouncing, 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 bouncing? Like, yeah, but it's one of those things where it kind of it's a full-on vibe itself. It's not meant to be like, okay, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing on the ground. Oh yeah, that really speaks to me. It's not meant to be for that. Another one I like is, well, shout out to Unconditional. I really think that's a great song to kind of on topic wise of just like the troubles of loving somebody unconditionally. When you take somebody unconditionally, you're taking everything unconditionally, and that means you have to love them no matter what these things that happen, no matter what troubles that go in the middle of it. And some of that time some of it's kind of challenging, especially when you have like as she says, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We never can stay on track. So it's just all these things that show that it's like things are going wrong, or there's some issues here and there with all kinds of stuff. But I feel like what she's saying is that even with that going on, I still want to invest in you. I still want to keep going with this. This was a 2-parter thing, but the 2-parter was worth it. I love a 2-part in this one. Angels featuring Kaash Paige. Oh my god. I love the vibe of this song. This song is completely slow, a little sensual, and it's a song that you can kind of visualize what she's talking about, and I love that. It actually reminds me of Sunburn, pretty much how I felt about Sunburn and Knight Rider, her second album. I really love that. That's the same kind of vibe I'm getting from this, and I really like that. Undo, Back to My Heart featuring Wax Motif. I really, really like this one too. This one's pretty much talking about that she wants to get back with her ex, and she also, in a space though where she has been thinking about what went wrong, and she realizes that maybe it's just because of the timing, and maybe it's just because of the idea that we started off young, so there's a lot of issues in those directions of what happened. So of course she's thinking about that. She's like, I don't even care who's at fault. I want to get back together because I miss you so much, and I know you can find a way. I know there's a way that you can find a way back to my heart. So I feel like that's a really interesting song and really interesting topic to talk about. Going to the next one I really like is Last Call. Pretty much the last half of this album is really, really good, and it definitely gets more experimental. This one is, Last Call is kind of a metaphor towards like last call at a bar compared to last call that she will ever, last call to the relationship with what's going on with this guy. She feels like they're in this middle between falling, like doing great and completely just failing over and over again. As she says, somewhere in between falling apart and figuring out what it's all what it all means, still means. So she doesn't even know what the investment in this relationship is even meant for anymore. And that's pretty worrisome. And while it's falling apart at the same time, it feels like it's not really great. It's very unstable ground. So with that said, she kind of says like, and we can't even be friends. It hurts way too much. So there's no space in the life of her for him, or the other way around. So she's saying last call. This is the last it. This is it. You know. The Chase is a very interesting one, and I love the production. This one talks about the pretty much not chasing after love, and also not forcing it either. She pretty much says in this one, she's like this over an 80s production sound, which I really love, is that she's not chasing anybody anymore. She's done with doing that. She's done with forcing love and pushing it and trying to make it work when she knows sometimes if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I feel like one thing that she says, she's like, she says it didn't take long to decide that I can replace your body. I ain't chasing I ain't gonna chase nobody. And then she says, I do me while you do you, because at the end of the day, you know we tried. So she already knows, she's in a space where she knows, she's like, we've already put a lot of effort into this relationship, so I know that me not chasing after this and not forcing it and kind of dropping it is not me abandoning the relationship, because it's not. We already know we tried on this. We tried this multiple times, but it's not working out. So that's what she's doing. She's like, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to chase it. It's not meant to be if it's not. Pasadena with the first track to this album, or first single to this album featuring Buddy. Buddy has also did a song with her before. This song, I don't know, I think it's the beat, but it's so just like the feeling right. Like, I don't know why, but I just like, it's in my head a lot, and I just love the sound of it being very catchy, and I also can visualize exactly what they're talking about. This is just living a good vibe, and finally, after working so hard, just taking a minute to just kind of just live and just have fun. As she says, up in the penthouse, you see to the ocean. How did we get here? We don't even know. We're just living our life. We're having a good time. I want to be in that penthouse where you can see in the ocean, from the ocean. I want to do that. And anyway, going into the next one, which is Small Reminders. Love the production, and love the production when it switches up in the verse 2. It gives this kind of funky kind of sound. Completely a good job. I love that. This one pretty much talks about just life lessons, the stuff to remember about yourself. Especially, I feel like it also connects with her, just like where she's learned since songs from you, or for you. And I feel like in that direction, that's what she's talking about. Yeah, so she's pretty much talking about that in this one. But one thing I love, the fact she's like, if you can undo what you've gone through, what you're going through, would you? I feel like that's a really good question, because it's just like, a lot of people say like what you go through and what you, all the bad stuff that you go through still makes you who you are today. And majority of the time it's a good thing, because you learn from your mistakes, or you learn from that situation that you were in. So now you're much better and much more have more knowledge about how you want to be presented, you know? And I think that that's pretty much what she's saying in this one. And then we gotta talk about Bouncing Part 2 is completely just a chiller, just way more slower, chopped and screwed in a weird kind of like esque direction. Not entirely that, but in that direction, like slow it down. It's so good. The vibe is so nice. I love it. I love that she returned back to it. It was so nice. And then the last one is it's a wrap. I didn't really start this one because I wasn't really feeling it entirely, but I do love the fact that Quiet Child is on this, as is her brother. I love the fact that he was on this. He was on Songs for You. What was the song? Drink, Smoke, Dance. Oh my god, I can't remember that song. Anyway, he's inside he's the kid that sings in the middle of it. And I love the fact that they're doing a song together. That would kind of cool if they did like a full-on or like duet album or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, I do appreciate him being in that one, but I wasn't really feeling that song. But all in all, this is a very impressive album. I'm very impressed with her, and it does sound like she's doing her own thing. It does sound like something you don't really hear as often, and it also sounds like she's not chasing the mainstream. She's not trying to make the charts. She's doing it her own way, and I think that's way more respectful and way more the fact that she's like, this is it. This is how I do it. You know, I love that. I give this a 9 out of 10. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell too. And I will see you all in the next video.